Hey, what's going on everyone? So check out the new ride. This is the Lectric Xpremium. This is going to be a little bit different video than what I normally do. Now this is literally my first ride on this bike. Just got this thing completely charged up. They're having a parade down in town, so I'm meeting my wife and son down there. She has the electric light in back of the car, and then he's going to ride with me the rest of this video on the electric light. He's been hounding me to ride that thing, and finally I let him ride it, and I think I lost the bike because he claimed it. So that's fine with me. I'm just glad he's out having a good time on it. But I'll see you guys when we get down there to the parade, and when I meet up with him, then we're going to go over all the specs and features of this Lectric Xpremium mid-drive dual battery long range e-bike, and do all the same testing that I do in all my other videos to show you guys the speed, the power. I'm definitely going to be testing this thing up hills because that's what mid-drives are great for. And hopefully by the end of this video, if you guys were interested in picking up one of these bikes, it would help you in your decision whether or not it's right for you. As a disclaimer, Lectric did send me this bike to test out and review, and I'll leave a link down below in the description of this video where you guys can pick one of these up, and it will be an affiliate link. So if you guys do use that, I will make a small commission at no extra cost to you. But I want to thank you guys in advance. So see you guys in a little bit. Thanks for watching, and please leave comments below, guys. It really helps my channel out, and can't wait to show you guys about this ride. Thanks for watching. All right guys, so I met my son down here. Unfortunately, I got down here, the parade was over, and there was just too many people up there, and he didn't want to stay. He wanted to go ride, of course. So this is the first thing I want to show you on this bike. Now this bike has what's called a torque sensor, so it's a little different than a cadence sensor. The more torque and pressure you put into the pedals and the faster you spin them, the faster the bike goes. Now this is really nice for the comfort of the bike and just the feel of you being with the bike, if you know what I mean. Like, it's not going to take off as soon as you start turning the pedals like a cadence sensor. However, with that being said, a lot of people do like the cadence and don't want to put a lot of effort in, so this might not be for you. But I'm going to show you how here it's really smooth. So go ahead, bud, start out. Now he's going to be in pedal assist 1, I'm in pedal assist 5, and look here how I'm pedaling, but look how slow I'm going. I'm in pedal assist 5. Now I'm only going like 7 miles an hour. That's how fast basically he's going. But watch this, as soon as I start pedaling harder and faster, the bike takes off. And I'm still in pedal assist 5, or I can slow down the pedals and it will slow down. But that is what is nice about a torque sensor. Now the only thing that most people are not going to like about a torque sensor is when you're going uphill, you do have to put more effort into the pedals to get up that hill. But there is one really nice thing about this mid-drive, and that is that it has a throttle that you can use at any time. Now a lot of mid-drives don't have a throttle. If you guys seen my Rambo cruiser video that I did a while back, like a year ago, and I actually compared it to the Lectric Xp step through, going up some hills and everything, I'll put a link to that if you guys want to check that out. It was a pretty good comparison, but that uses the same motor as this, and it had a throttle, so it was pretty comparable. Most mid-drives in the high dollar and, you know, the high-end bikes, a lot of them don't have a throttle, and they have the torque sensor, and a lot of people end up unhappy because they have to put a lot of effort into the bike sometimes to get uphill versus, say, a cadence sensor or a bike with throttle that you could just hit the throttle and go. So you should help pedal up hills all the time anyway, but like I said, cadence sensor, torque sensor, some people are going to like one, some people are going to feel like they like the other. Just depends on your style and your needs. So we're going to go ahead and keep riding here, and you can see here I got throttle. I could use anytime, just throttle only on this bike, which is nice that they kept that feature. All right guys, so like I said, we're going to do this video a little different. We're going to do the actual test ride first, and then when we get back towards my house, we'll go over all the specs and features of this bike and what you get for the money. Almost forgot how easy the assembly on these electric bikes are. This bike comes completely fully assembled. All you have to do is slide the handlebar stem down in. You don't even have to put the pedals on, the fender, the light, nothing. It's all assembled, which is really nice. Assembly was very easy on this bike, and it comes with, like I said, 2 batteries, a 10.4 amp hour battery in the front of the frame, and then a 10.4 amp hour battery behind the seat. Now you can turn the bike on and use the bike with either one of the batteries installed. However, in the manual it states that you should not run it with only the rear battery, and it says that if you don't have the rear battery in, that you should put the cover over the prongs where the battery connects so that it doesn't short out if it gets wet. Now, I don't know what they're talking about because I haven't seen a battery cover and there was not one sent with the bike, so maybe that's something they're going to make in the future. However, I know right now both batteries are included, and I know initially when they first came out with the bike, and I think they were thinking about maybe selling it with one battery and then having you purchase the other one separately. So I don't know if that's the route they're going to go or not. But like I said, keep that in mind if you have the rear battery off, or if you have one of the front batteries off, make sure those terminals aren't exposed. All right, guys, so the first thing I noticed about this bike, when you're in pedal assist 1, gear 1, you could ride this bike very, very, very slow. I'm going like 4 miles an hour right now, and when I hit a hill I was only going like around 3 miles an hour, and it really wasn't putting out any power even when I was pedaling hard. So pedal assist 1, gear 1, it's going to put out minimal power, which is going to be nice for a lot of people that are just learning to ride this bike. It's not going to throw them off the bike, it's not going to catch them off guard, and it's going to be just really slow and smooth overall the way the motor kicks in, and it's actually really nice, guys. So 3.9 miles an hour there on pedal assist 1, gear 1. Now if I bump up the gears, obviously it's going to make you go faster, so that's kind of nice. In PAS 1 you have like 7 different speeds basically, depending on what gear you're in. So pretty sweet there, with the mid drive being, that it uses the power through the chain and uses the gearing in the back instead of a hub motor, which is just in the back rim. And we'll go over more details about that later on for those of you that don't know the difference between a mid drive and a hub motor. But really nice, guys, overall. I'm gonna go ahead and bump it up into pedal assist 5. And now you can see I'm in pedal assist 5, gear 1. Pedaling, but still going really slow, 6 miles an hour. But this is where if I put more effort into it, then it's going to pick up and go. So honestly, guys, I'm probably going to mostly stay in just pedal assist 5 whenever I'm riding this bike. And I think that's going to be the sweet spot, because depending on how hard or how soft I pedal is going to depend on how much power it gives me and how much speed. Also, the gearing up here is going to depend on the power and speed as well. But you just got to ride it and see how it feels. And you want to listen to that motor. You don't want that motor dying down going up a hill. So you don't want to go up a hill in 7th gear and put a strain on that motor, because it will overheat and limit your power according to the manual if you do that. But we are going to go up some steep hills, so make sure you guys stick around. All right, guys, we are approaching one of the steepest hills in my town. And my son, he's about 55 to 60 pounds riding the Lectric Light, so it's going to pull him up there probably no problem. He's just going to use throttle only on that, just to see if it'll do it. I'm going to probably go ahead and just try to use maybe just throttle once we get up here to the steeper part. I'm in pedal assist 5, gear 1, and that's the gear you want to be in on steep hills, is gear 1. That way you get the best mechanical advantage and you don't overheat that mid-drive motor, because it'll work a little easier in gear 1 going up hills. So I'm going to go ahead and start here with just throttle. Watch that car, bud. And I'm pulling 15 amps of current. I'm going to go ahead and start pedaling. And just throttle here. Yeah, I still have to pedal up this hill, guys. It will not pull me up with just throttle only. So that's very easily pedaling, but with just throttle coming up there, it was only putting out 15 amps of current, and it felt like it was straining too much, and I wanted to start pedaling. So a little bit of a bummer that they didn't go with a little bit stronger motor, maybe like a 750 watt mid-drive. That would have been awesome. That would have been really ideal on this bike. But the 500 watt motor is still going to be pretty nice for some hills. When I get back closer to my house, we're going to go up that steep grassy incline, and then I'm going to go grab the Lectric 2.0, and I'm going to go up it, and I'm going to show you guys the difference between this and the Lectric 2.0 going up that steep grassy hill. So make sure you guys stick around to see that. But I mean, it pulled me up that no problem. I was just expecting with the mid-drive in gear 1 for me not to have to pedal, and I felt like it was going to put too much of a strain on the motor, so I did pedal a little bit to help it out. He didn't have to pedal at all. The Lectric Light pulled his 60 pounds right up that hill, no problem. I figured it would. And you guys got to see my first impression of it going up a hill, because that's the first hill that I went up on this thing. How's the Light doing, bud? How you like it?
Good.
Easy up that hill?
Yeah.
No problems? And what pedal assist were you in?
5.
All right, cool. We're gonna go up a few more hills before we get back home, and then maybe I'll have you try the steep grassy hill.
Okay.
Think you wanna try that one?
Yeah.
All right. All right, guys, we'll see you in a little bit. All right, guys, my mic wouldn't turn on, so now I'm stuck mid-hill here, but we're gonna go ahead and start out mid-hill there very easily on this mid-drive. This is the last long hill before I get to my house, and I'm thinking that I might possibly go do that really long steep hill that I did on the Magicycle in my last video, just to see how it does up that. But we're gonna see by the time we get to the top of this hill how this thing does. I'm really barely putting any effort into it. I'm in pedal assist 3 using the throttle. I'm gonna go ahead and just bump it up to pedal assist 5. All right, now I'm in pedal assist 5, just using the pedals, and I am putting a little bit of effort into it. I can feel it in my legs, and that's one thing that's really nice about a torque sensor. If you guys want more exercise and you want more of a feel like a regular bicycle, then you're gonna wanna get something that has a torque sensor. That way it gives you a little bit more resistance on your pedals and feels like you're riding a regular bicycle. All right, so my legs are starting to hurt a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and just start using the throttle. And that's what's really nice about having full throttle when you have a torque sensor. Like I said, some bikes that don't have a throttle that have a torque sensor, personally, I don't think I would like that, because when I don't want to work hard, I don't want to work hard, and I just want to be able to just hit that throttle and go. Comes a car. So, I mean, I'm going to have to put them side by side, but in my honest opinion, I kind of feel like, well, I do feel like this has a little bit more power or torque than the XP 2.0. I don't know, I'm going to make that decision after I go up that steep grassy hill, and we'll decide from there. See you guys when we get to that. All right, guys, I lied. We're not at the steep grassy hill yet, but this is the hill that I always go up with all my bikes throttle only to see if we can make it up it. So let's see if this will do it. The Lectric Step Through 2.0 will not make it up this with just throttle. And by the time I get to this tree up here, I feel like I want to start pedaling. But let's see how this one does. 15 amps of current. And I want to start pedaling already, guys. I mean, it is pulling me up, but I do feel like I should be pedaling. 14.5 amps of current, and right about here is where I stopped with the Lectric 2.0. And this is, okay, it's pulling me up all the way, 15 amps of current. All right, guys, so yeah, it definitely has more power than the Lectric 2.0. So a little bit slow coming up that, a little slower than I would have liked. And I felt like I should have pedaled because it's probably really working the motor pretty hard, but not bad, guys. Definitely more power than the 2.0, which is what I expected for a mid-drive. Now we're about at the steep grassy hill. Let's try that one out. All right, here we go. Steep grassy hill. Pedal assist 5, gear 1. I'm going to have the throttle, full throttle, and see if we can make it up this one-handed. Okay. I made it up it one-handed. I did have to put a little bit of effort into the pedals, and it was getting a little slow there at the top, but I made it up, guys. Not bad. That actually impressed me. I didn't think it was going to do it one-handed, but made it up at no problem. Let me try it again and give you guys a different angle of it. And I'm going to start doing this with all my bikes, guys. I'm going to start right here at this post, full throttle and pedal assist 5, and I'm going to try this test in every one of my videos that I can, just to show you guys the difference between each and every bike that I review, to show you guys the true power. So here we go. Pedal assist 5, gear 1, two-handed this time. 14 amps, 15 amps. So it did walk up it. I had to give it a little bit of effort. All right, guys, I'm gonna try this one more time because I realized I started pedaling at the bottom, and what I wanna do in all my testing with these bikes is I wanna try throttle only until I feel like I need to pedal when the motor's putting a strain on it, and then start pedaling. And these hydraulic brakes are definitely way nicer than their non-hydraulic brakes. All right, here we go, throttle only. Gear 1, PAS 5. Yep, had to start pedaling about right there. So I would say a little bit more power than the Lectric 2.0. And to be honest, it's probably because of the 32 tooth chain ring that they use on this one, and it gives it a little bit more mechanical advantage. If you'd put a 32 tooth chain ring on the Lectric 2.0, you might be able to climb up this hill as easily pedaling on that as you can on this. I don't know guys, that's just my opinion. Maybe if I ever upgrade the freewheel on there, I'll try it again and let you guys know what I think. Now, one thing I noticed guys that I want to mention is this motor does get very, very warm here. And there is a warning label here that tells you under certain conditions, parts of the motor can reach high temperatures, and to avoid burns, do not touch. But this does get very warm here guys, especially when you're going uphill. All right guys, here we go on the Lectric 2.0 step through. So I'm going to start out throttle only till I feel like I need to pedal and show you guys how far I make it up on the hill. Pedal assist 5, gear 1, right about there. And I have to stand up to finish pedaling up that. So definitely would not make it up it probably one hand, but I guess we'll try it anyway. All right guys, here we go. I'm going to start pedaling from here, gear 5, or gear 1, pedal assist 5. Nope. Almost made it one-handed guys, but not quite. So definitely have more power on the Xpremium because I walked up it with the Xpremium one-handed. Okay, my son wanted to try it on the Lectric Lite, just using throttle only first. Oh man, he walked right up that with no problems at all. Easily. You probably could have made it with just full throttle. Probably. Yeah, he could have probably made it up that with just full throttle. All right, you gotta let me try this now. All right guys, here we go. Lectric Lite, pedal assist 5, and I'm gonna pedal right from the bottom. Oh, yeah, very, very hard for me to do guys. Still made it, but a lot of effort. Motor was struggling. 165 pounds, I believe I am, somewhere around there. So that's the difference between 55 to 60 pounds and 165 pounds. So you can see weight makes a huge difference. So now let's go over the specs and features of what you get with this bike. So another thing that is really awesome for a mid-drive is you having more control when you're off-road, like in the woods. So right now I'm in pedal assist 5, just pedaling really slow, and it's only giving me the power that I need to go over certain obstacles. On a hub motor, it would be taking off right now if I was in pedal assist 5 doing this. But that's why they usually make hunting bikes have a mid-drive, because for one, they're more powerful for hills, and for two, you get better mechanical advantage when you're on off-road terrain like this, and you have a little bit more control over the bike having that, sorry guys, there's gnats in my face, having that torque sensor versus a cadence sensor. You got a lot more feel and control over the bike. So up here on the handlebars, we have a nice set of faux leather grips. Now, in my opinion, this is a big upgrade over their previous hard rubber grips. Some people may not like these because if your palms get sweaty, they do get slippery, but I really like the feel of these grips. Next to that, you have the control pad for controlling your pedal assist levels. You have the nice display in the center, just like all their other bikes have. You could toggle through your current, your voltage. You can see I'm sitting at 51.8 volts now after a 7-mile ride. Current, time, odometer, trip meter, and really nice big display, just like all their other bikes. Over here on the right-hand side, you have a half grip twist throttle. You have a Shimano 7-speed shifter, which leads down to the 12 to 32 tooth freewheel in the rear. And in my opinion, guys, this is a big upgrade versus all their other bikes. And in my opinion, they should include this freewheel on all their other bikes. And if you don't know why, make sure you guys check out my freewheel upgrade video that I did on the original Lectric Xp. I actually show you a tutorial and what it does and the effects of it before and after. So make sure you guys check out that video. Now this is using a Shimano tourney derailleur, coming up the chain to a 52 tooth chain ring in the front, which has a metal guard on the outside and a plastic guard on the inside. All right, now for the exciting part. This bike is powered by two 10.4 amp hour batteries, one inside the frame here up front and one behind the seat post. Now, like I said before, you could take either one of these batteries out and use the bike. Just be cautious of your exposed terminals. You don't want to have them shorted out. In the manual, it states not to run the bike without this battery. But what I really like about these batteries, this battery here is not super long, which is really nice. Going to be pretty easy to store in a rear bag or in a set of pannier bags. And not like their original Lectric Xp or 2.0 batteries, where they're pretty long and pretty hard to carry around because they either stick out of my panniers or they stick out of the back of the bag if I were to carry a second battery along. So really nice that this battery here is shorter, and I feel like if you wanted even extra range, just buy an extra one of these, which currently is priced at around $300 for this one and $350 for this one, which actually isn't too bad in my opinion, and going to be a little bit easier to carry around in a bag. Now, it's using the power of those two 48-volt batteries. Combined, they are 20.8 amp hours of capacity because they are 10.4 amp hours each. And it's using a truck run mid-drive 500-watt motor to power this step-through Lectric Xpremium bike. Now, I noticed this one is branded Lectric now, but it is a truck run motor, which is the same type of motor that I had on the Rambo Cruiser, which was a $2,000 bike, and only came with one 10.4 amp hour battery. So in my opinion, you are getting a lot of stuff here with the dual batteries and the 500-watt motor for the current $1,799 price point if you compare it to something like the Rambo Cruiser, which, like I said, is $2,000 and only comes with one battery. And the Rambo didn't have a front suspension, and it's a totally different style bike though, guys. Now, this was the Comfort model, which came with the Comfort package, the suspension seat, and the bigger seat. That's a $100 additional accessory there, guys, if you get the seat post and the larger seat. So for $17.99, you do not get this. This bike, the way it sits, would be $18.99 currently as me filming this video. For stopping power, this bike is using a set of Zoom hydraulic disc brakes, leading down to a pair of 160mm rotors on both the front and the rear of the bike. And this bike is sitting on a pair of 20 by 4-inch Chow Yang fat tires, which actually have slime included in them to help prevent you from getting flats out on the run. Now, on a mid-drive motor, when you shift gears, it's kind of like when you're shifting gears in a car when you have a manual transmission, how you have to push the clutch in to shift the gears. When you shift the gear up here, it does put the motor in neutral so that it helps with the chain being able to move on that rear cog without it creating any pressure and ripping things apart. So keep that in mind. You want to shift through each gear individually and just take your time shifting through the gears. And that's going to be a really big different riding experience than when you're on a hub motor, because on a hub motor, all the power is coming from inside the rear rim, and your gears will shift through very smoothly because there is no tension really on the chain as you're shifting. But that's just something to keep in mind. It's just a little difference, a little bit different riding style, and a little bit different experience in riding the bike. Now, for it to pause that motor, there is a shift sensor, which is right here in line with the shift cable. I seen in the manual that it states it's back here, but obviously they moved it to up here on this bike that I have for review. So if you guys are ever wondering what that little block is in that cable, that's what that is the shift sensor. And the speed sensor is actually down here in the rim, the same setup how the Rambo had, and that makes contact with this little magnet here, and that's what monitors your speed of the bike as that goes around. So if this ever gets twisted or turned, guys, and your speedometer quits working, check that first, because that might have gotten loose on that spoke and might have gotten out of adjustment with that sensor there. Now, it does have a derailleur guard, which is always nice to see, and it has a pretty large rear steel rack with a little mounting point here for a bungee cord or whatever, but fits my Rock Bros bag on there perfectly. This bag is awesome, guys. I'll put a link down below in the description. It has panniers that fold down. I'm sure you guys seen my accessory video before, but if you need extra storage, these side pouches fold down into panniers. But like I said, I'll leave an affiliate link down below if you guys are interested in picking up one of these bags. And finally, guys, they upgraded the kickstand on this bike to a heavy-duty adjustable kickstand. There's a little 4mm screw in the back, which you can loosen up and adjust this up and down to change the angle that your bike sits at if you want more angle or less angle, which is really nice to see, because on one of the step-throughs that I got, it was almost so upright that I felt like it needed more angle. So I kind of tried to bend the kickstand out, once, and I did make it a little bit better, but really nice to see that now you can adjust the kickstand on this Xpremium. So coming back to the batteries, one downfall is that they only give you one 2-amp charger. So it is going to take you over 10 hours to charge up both of these batteries if they were completely dead. Now, normally you're not going to be charging it when it's completely dead, so it may not take you that long, but you can only charge one battery at a time. They have a charge port here in the side of the frame, which will charge this battery, or you could take the battery out and charge it from the port underneath the battery. But using this port does not recharge the rear battery. To recharge the rear battery, there's actually a port on this side over here that you have to unplug the charger from there and plug it into here after that battery is completely charged to charge up this one. Would have been kind of nice to see if you plugged it in the frame there, it would charge both batteries, but that would have required different wiring, probably a different module for that, for the battery optimizer. So no big deal, but it would have been nice to see them give you 2 chargers like they did with the walkie that I reviewed, and would have been able to charge this bike up in under 5 hours. But if you want to purchase an additional charger, they're not too bad. For an extra $50, you can get one right off of their website. Now the handlebar stem is adjustable on this bike, just like all their other models. And on this Xpremium, they actually include the premium headlight, which is the bigger, with the bigger reflector and pretty nice headlight. It does have a tail light, not this underneath here. However, it is very, very dim. There's like one little LED in the center, and then when you pull the brake lever, it flashes. It does not get brighter. It is a tail light and a brake light, but it only flashes, does not get brighter, and it's pretty dim in my opinion. Would have been nice to see a brighter light. I think the light on the electric light, it looks like the same light, but I'm pretty sure that one is a lot brighter than this one. For comfort, you have a hydraulic spring suspension in the front with different clicks for adjustment and also a lockout. And on the left-hand side, you do have a preload. Really pretty beefy looking there on the front suspension. Really nice that they went back to the 4-inch tires on this model, in my opinion, as well. Now, it did seem like the reach was a little bit extra long compared to the Lectric 2.0 step-through. Overall, not too bad, but I think maybe I might upgrade these handlebars to a pair of swept-back handlebars to just give it a little bit more comfort while I'm riding. And unlike all their other bikes, you do not have to have the key in for the bike to work. So if you were to park this bike to run in a store, just keep in mind somebody could easily turn the bike on and steal it. So you're gonna want a good lock, you're gonna want a good alarm system or something, and keep an eye on your bike, or take the batteries out if you were to go in a store if you don't want anyone just hopping on your bike and taking it. One thing that's nice though about taking the batteries out of this model is even though it still looks nice and integrated in the frame, very, very easy to remove. Don't have to fold the frame to remove it, and don't have to have the key in it to work the bike. You only need the key to remove and replace the battery on the front, and you only need the key in the back to remove the battery. You do not need the key to reinstall the battery on the back. You only need the key to reinstall the battery on the front. Now, when you're reinstalling the battery on the back, if you're not using the key, I noticed you have to kind of hold in on this, like squeeze it a little bit as you're pushing the battery down on, and it will lock right down on there without the key. It was giving me a little bit of a problem locking on there without the key, without squeezing it, so just keep that in mind. And this bike is folding, guys. You can fold this bike up, but keep in mind, this is still a big, heavy bike, and it's gonna be really hard and awkward to pick up and move around when it's folded. But definitely a great option for transport and being able to put this thing in back of a vehicle or an SUV to transport it around. So pretty easy to fold up. You just unclip this latch here. It has a really nice heavy duty stand there on the bottom. I was really, really impressed by that. I mean, that thing is beefy. And then you can fold your handlebars down just like all their other bikes. Really nice and pretty compact like that. Now, like I said, now I do have a few pounds here, but it is going to be a little bit awkward to pick up and move around, and it is heavy, guys. All right, guys, I just want to jump in here real quick and show you the weight of this bike. This is with the batteries as it comes with the comfort package. So it's showing about 84 pounds with the batteries, and I'll show you guys my weight for the rad test here. Should be about 165. Good, you get on it now. And just so you guys know, for what my son was on the electric light, 60 pounds on the money. Dang, boy, you must have been eating good.
No.
Gaining some weight.
No.
Now we're gonna weigh each battery and see what they weigh. Front battery is 7.5 pounds. And the rear battery is 7 pounds. Well, 14.6 pounds for the batteries. So the bike without the batteries, obviously, is gonna be about 70 pounds, 69 to 70 pounds. So there you guys go. There's the weight of the Lectric Xpremium. So if you took the seat out, you can also get that down almost 4 pounds more. If you were to put this on a bike rack, you can get it down to say 66 pounds or so if you took the batteries and the seat out. All right guys, let's get back to the overview. All right guys, here we go. We're gonna do a speed test. This is just pedal assist 1, and you could see I could go super slow like I said in pedal assist 1, but it's also gonna depend on what gear you're in because of the mid drive. So right now I'm in gear 1 going like 3 miles per hour, but you can see here that if I bump up the gears, it's gonna start going faster. So like I said, pretty nice there guys, that you can use all your gears to adjust the speed that you're going. So it's a little bit of a different learning curve on a mid-drive, and there is a little bit more involved with how you ride the bike, but pretty nice overall guys. I'm gonna bump it up into 5 here and just show you guys the speed that I can get out of this bike. And I'm just gonna use pedaling, and you can see how it pauses between each shift. So it's not gonna be as fast off the start and overall as a mid-drive, but there's 17, 20, 22. So about 22 miles per hour there was the max speed I could hit right there. But we're gonna see if we can jump up through the gears a little faster here. $20, $22, $24, $25, $26, $27. So you can definitely get going here guys. I was putting a little bit of effort into the pedals. Whew. Now let's see how fast I could shift up. There's first. I just shifted 2 gears at a time basically. 5th, 7th, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So that's what's different about a mid-drive is whenever you're going and shifting, it's pausing in between shifts. It's not like a hub motor where you just hit the throttle or you hit the pedals and it just takes off and keeps going. You actually have to shift through them gears and it's going to pause in between gears. But in my opinion guys, it's a totally different experience and it's a very, very smooth ride. Man, a little bit out of breath, but very smooth. It's just, you have to keep in mind that it's not going to be just hit the throttle and take off and go full speed like a hub motor. It's going to be more of like driving a car where you have to shift through the gears and increase your speed gradually. So overall guys, it's a pretty cool riding experience riding this bike with the mid-drive. That's going to wrap it up for this video. I was going to go on that really long hill test I did with the Magicycle. We still might do that today. Maybe I'll include it in a follow-up video, but let me know what else you guys want to see on this bike. Please leave a comment down below. Like I said, if you guys are interested in picking one of these up, please check out the affiliate links down below and consider using those links if this video helped you in making your decision, and it will help support the channel for me to keep creating videos like this for you guys. So hope you guys enjoyed, hope you learned something. Like I said, feel free to ask any questions below. Please consider subscribing, checking out some of my other videos so you can learn about different e-bikes and how they perform. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified of future videos, and I will definitely see you guys around on the next one. Thanks for watching, everyone.